it should be, everything should be. Let's have a look. Posted a tweet, and right now we are live. Super duper amazing JD Kelleher, actor, very very talented musician, many years of experience in theatre, and I'm looking at his IMDb. Actually, it's an honour to have you. Thank you so much.
It's an honour to be here with you, Dav. Thank you very much indeed for having me.
No. It's okay. It's okay. I understand that you're a very very busy man on a tight schedule and all. And
Well, it's a pandemic. We're not all as busy as we were, maybe.
yeah, actually that could lead me to the first question then. Really, you know, how has the pandemic affected you as a musician?
As a musician, that's a good question. I have your list of questions because you sent them to me earlier when we were Skyping, right?
Yeah.
I gotta say, I didn't really look at them
It's cool.
at that time because I thought, no, I won't look at those yet. And so I brought them up in front of me as well. So I have them to refer to if you want to at any point, but I'm sure you have them too. But how has the music or how has the pandemic affected me musically? Well, I released a couple of songs, through the lockdown,
Yes.
but they were material that I was already scheduled to release. So
Yes.
I released two music videos and two singles of the same music videos, and that was a song called "Jump,"
Oh wow.
first of all, and then followed up by a cover tune, which you played on your show recently. Thank you, of a Carlos Santana track called "Put Your Lights On." So I released a music video for that I shot in Spain, bang in the middle of the first lockdown.
Yes.
Yeah, so has it affected me musically, the pandemic? Only in the sense maybe to appreciate what I do and be grateful for what I do, and for the privilege to be able to make music and to be living in London and to have a roof over my head, and financially I wasn't hugely impacted by the pandemic
Yes.
in the way
Yes.
that many people in this country were. That was just luck, because the business that I own and half own and run, which is an actors agency, that didn't change. We worked from home anyway, and my dividend from that didn't change on a monthly basis. I'm also a taxi driver.
Yes.
The rates, I took the first lockdown off, so that income went down. But I worked through the second lockdown as a cabbie, as an Uber driver, frankly.
Wow. Wow. So, hold on. So you are. I think you're the first non-Asian Uber driver I've met. Respect, man. This cool.
They get a real surprise when they get an Irish Uber driver in the car.
Wow.
They do. But I'm an immigrant,
Yes. Yes.
and Uber is immigrant. It's a great immigrant job, right?
Well, yeah. But it's just. Is it true about the conditions? Like to be able to go to the loo and the loo stops and all, and having that, and there was the whole catastrophe or controversy regarding in the media regarding Uber a couple of years back, if I remember correctly.
Should we have a little chat about that, Dev?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? I didn't hear the one. What was the first one you said about toilet stops?
Yeah. Basically, the conditions that the drivers have to basically work crazy long hours and break their back just to
Well. Here's the thing about being an Uber driver, from my experience.
Yeah.
You work the hours that you want to work, and that you need to work, and you take a toilet break when you need to take a toilet break.
Brilliant.
You don't need. Now, sometimes you need to be creative about where you take a toilet break.
Aha. Yeah.
My answer to that particular criticism, Dev, is take responsibility for your own toilet breaks.
Yeah.
And when you're tired of driving, clock out.
Yeah.
So that's not. I'm actually quite a pro Uber person, and I know that it's a controversial issue.
Yeah.
But all of the criticisms that have been leveled at Uber have been met by Uber with action, as far as I see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're constantly upgrading their system to make it safer both for the driver and for the rider. Now, when our incomes went down through the first lockdown, they did give us PPE. So I'll say that for them, they gave us an allowance for PPE twice, and that was helpful. But there was no compensation for those lost Uber earnings. In the second lockdown, they reduced their commission rates. So we had an ability to make more money. So there was some action there. Everything is logged. It's very safe. My personal experience is that a lot of single women use Uber to get to and from where they're going safely, because all the rides are logged, and you know who's driving, and there's a photo. So there's a record of everything. So does that answer that question, man?
Yeah. So you're expected to wear a mask while you're driving the car, basically, yeah.
Yes, there are regulations now for being in an Uber or any cab driver.
Yeah.
Which is that I have to wear a mask and you have to wear a mask.
But doesn't it make you feel dizzy and all that? Because when I had to wear a mask just to go into the store, I was like picking up all the wrong bread and everything. I was going wild.
Well, no, that's not been my experience, Dev. I found it quite easy to wear a mask and breathe at the same time. However, I don't wear it all the time because I only wear it when there's a rider in the car. And now that rider can only sit in the back. There's no front seat There's no front seat rides anymore in an Uber car, and at least one window has to be open at all times, come rain, sleet, or snow. So I usually have two windows, a little bit ajar, my window, and a back window.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. May I
please? And one more thing about Uber and Uber drivers and key workers. Uber played a huge part, it has to be said, in keeping people off public transport when people needed to be off public transport, and people still need to avoid public transport where possible. Uber drivers also played a big part in that whole transfer of work from the office to the home scenario. When everyone was panicking to get home, so we had your laptop in the back, and we had some of your office furniture in the front seat, and we're now everyone's working from home now in London. So who's going to transfer everything? Well, it's the drivers.
Yeah, but as long as you ain't one of those Uber drivers that pulls those mad U-turns in the middle of the road, like everyone's like, what? You know what I mean?
No, my U-turns are very professional. Very professional, very safe.
Could you please tell me more about the Actors Talent Agency for Immigrant Actors? That's very, very interesting.
Thank you, Dev. I am an actor, as you know, and I've been an actor all my life. I'm not a famous actor, but I've done a lot of interesting things in my life, in the theatre and on television, and occasionally on film as well, and on the radio. I came here to London as a very young man, doing theatre. I landed on the West End doing a play, and then I landed in many different theatres in the UK doing various plays and touring the UK, including places like Bristol and Hull and Liverpool and Edinburgh and Basingstoke and Chichester. I toured with a couple of productions, and that was a great way to see the UK and experience the UK and get to know the UK as a young man and as a young immigrant artist to the UK. And so jumped to, a few years later, which is about 9 years ago, me and my business partner, Rachel, who's also an Irish actor, we started an agency that specializes in immigrant and ethnically diverse actors. So actors from anywhere who are coming into this country like we did to follow a dream, man. And people like yourself, ethnically diverse Brits,
yes,
who are underrepresented in our media and in our pop culture and in everywhere. That's that's where we specialize as an actors agency. So we share our experience over the years of being actors with the actors that join us on our books. And we're doing quite well. And like I was saying earlier, it hasn't been badly affected by the pandemic because people were still shooting commercials. They were just shooting them in their homes and on Zoom and da 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 da. Productions did like EastEnders and The Witcher and whatever it is you watch. They all did shut down for a while. But after the first lockdown, everybody was shooting like crazy now because they lost so much time, and they want to shoot extra because we could go into lockdown again. So the acting industry and the casting industry and the TV and film industry is very busy. The theatre industry is shut down, but I believe the first performances are happening on the West End maybe this week to limited audiences and stuff.
Wow. Wow.
So that's my agency, and we've been running that now for 10 years, and we have about 200 actors on our book from all over the world. And we have an actor from Poland who's in Fantastic Beasts, and we've had an Irish actor in EastEnders who may be back in EastEnders. People doing various different things, from commercials to films to a day or 2 or 3 or 4 on a big movie, right across the board.
I think that's very impressive, because my history before, between working in radio and how I funded the show and all this costly equipment and all, and licensing fees and that, I used to work on film sets. So I worked on The Crown for Netflix. I worked on Spider-Man, Morbius. I done Harlots Series 2. That was is it Langleybury? A lot of film work.
You're a techie.
No, I was just a security guy, just looking after all the equipment. But I was literally helping unload all the Panavision trucks and helping with the sound, helping with the props, and looking after the actors. And it's mad.
Kind of a runner / crew member is what you were.
Yeah, but
on a lot of big projects there, my friend.
Yeah, a lot of big projects, but the bigger the project, dude, yeah, the worse the conditions. That's why I asked you about toilet conditions and stuff like that, because when facilities are gone, let's say we're the first people on the film set, right?
Yeah.
We're there for when the generators arrive, then the jennies, then the lights come, yeah, then your ARRI cameras, blah blah blah, lighting, ARRI lighting, all the rest of that. And then we got to secure that till at night. And sometimes you're scared you're not going to make the last train out of central London. So, you're worried. And that's how long the shifts are. And it can be 14 hours, 16 hours, doubles, triples. And that's how we've worked. So Spider-Man.
At a very basic hourly rate.
Oh, very, 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 very. And when they're not shooting, there's no food facilities, there's no catering. So at the end of the day, I've worked there for a few years, so I know. But I know how it is, and I know there's a division as well between us lot, such as the security, the sparks, the riggers, and all the rest of that, versus the actors. We get treated different, but no one likes us because we get the food first of being security, because of our positions.
Well, you speak about a hierarchy there that I'm very aware of, and like you said, the bigger the project is, and maybe the higher the budget, the more stark that hierarchy is. And as an actor myself, I've experienced that, because even with it, yes, there's the crew. But then, it is very different for crew and for actors and artists. But when you step into the artists and actors world, then you have a hierarchy as well. From the basic extra,
yeah,
who is getting £100 for the day.
That's right. Yeah.
Now I've been that person. On Batman Begins.
Brilliant.
With Christopher Nolan. Out in Oxford, in a big abandoned warehouse out in Oxford, whenever that film was made. That's the first in that series, and I was there as an extra. Now, they did dangle a little bit of a carrot over me and us at the time to say, you might be called on to say something.
Oh, wow.
Well, holy shit. And I was much younger man than I was now. It was my first time on a big movie set. And I still remember walking through Gotham
Yes. Yes.
by myself, alone, after being just arriving on set, maybe I'd had a bite to eat, and I was, wasn't needed anywhere. I wandered through the warehouse. Look, I was in Gotham alone. I was like, here I am. I'm here.
Wow.
So I've been that and very lowly, and it was it was an exciting few days, but we were fed separately, and we were spoken to not directly by Christopher Nolan, and because that doesn't happen. That's just not Christopher Nolan's fault. That's just not the way the structure of a big movie is set up. The extras are spoken to by someone lower down the thing and set up in a different way, and and then you have walk-ons.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that's distinctions. Walk-ons get about £250 to £300 a day, maybe anything up to £500 a day on a commercial. And that's more of a job for an actor. An extra could be doing anything else with his day. They could be doing other jobs. They're mechanics, they're builders, they're immigrants,
Yeah.
they're anything, students, old people, young people. But a walk-on is an actor, and he's getting money, bigger money, because he might be called on to do something specific, like be a waiter at the table for the main.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or something very, a little bit of action or something. Or, you might not focus on him, but he's there in the background, or her. And then you're moving into the paid actor territory. And that's very low rates as well, until you move into what are called profile names.
Wow. So tell me about profile names. What on earth are profile names, dude?
Stars, basically. Well, star names.
Oh, I can tell you a few stories about that, but you go first.
Well, people who are recognized, because if you're famous, and if you're famous as making a big movie, or let's say you start off and your first job is on Batman Begins, and you're playing a small role in that as a policeman, but you have 5 lines, and and the next time you do something bigger, and eventually people are beginning to know this name, like Johnny Depp or anybody. So the more famous a person's name is, the more bankable they are, and therefore they can demand to be paid more, and there are different rates for that, and it goes right up to 30 million bucks a movie,
Oh my
50
God.
million bucks a movie. And people have shares. Then artists have shares in the movie in lieu of salaries, or as well as salaries.
Wow. Wow. I remember one day I overstepped. Well, not apparently in the eyes of the whole film thing, where I was just chilling out talking to this dude, and it turned out he was Daniel Espinosa, and
Who's that?
He did Safe House, and he was the director for Morbius.
Okay.
And everyone's like, "Why are you talking to the director?" I go, "The dude's talking to me, man. If he's asking me about life, I'm gonna tell him about life."
People need to chill out a lot more,
Yeah, yeah.
as you know, chill out and mind your own fucking business as well. Excuse me.
That's all right. It's all good. It's all good. It's true.
I've done commercials. I've done a few commercials in my time, and I've worked with 2 James Bond directors
Yeah. Wow.
in commercials.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I think the guy, it wasn't Sam Mendes. It was the guy who directed, I think, Quantum of Solace.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't remember his name now, but I worked with him, and he was a very nice fella.
Yeah.
And the other one was an older guy. Again, I can't remember his name. My brother is a Bond lunatic. He would know the names.
Wow. Wow. I used to do private security and look after Mr. Heyman, David Heyman, and he done the executive producer for all the Harry Potter films, Gravity, and all that. So it's funny because I was big back then. My job was to run to the front door. Yeah.
Do you mean you were physically big?
Yeah. As in more muscular, a lot more stronger, more powerful. And so I'd literally block the doorway for the paparazzi, which used to try and film the atrium. of the place. But every time they used to eat, they used to call me to eat with them. The people of the families. I worked for his wife and everything as well, just looking after the family. And I learned a lot working for them. What I did learn working for David and his wife Rose was you can actually earn a living doing something that you love. You know, so that's really really important. Um,
That's a great message, especially during a pandemic.
yeah,
It's a great message anytime, but especially during a pandemic, to remember that, for us to remember that. And thank you for sharing that.
oh, man,
It's
it's true. Real talk. You know, okay, you as a how did it feel, right, stepping across from being on the one side of the lens, yeah, um, to the other side of the camera, because you became a director in One Last Drink Before Morning. So tell me about that as a short.
That was 2006.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, and well, actually, around that time, or I think, well, around that time, I think shortly after that, I went to photography school. My, you know, actors who are out of work need to get creative.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And as I always say to the actors in our books, ongoing training is a lifelong thing. I think that applies to anybody. We're always learning new things.
yes,
Uh, it was very natural for me to explore a script and get behind the camera and direct my friends in a short film. And I learned a lot from it, and the film did well, and it's up there on my YouTube page. But after that, I went to photography school to photography snap
yeah,
for 2 years. For 2 years, still photography, and that was wonderful. To go back to college and be with other learners, uh, um, doing something I love, and was exploring anew for the first time. And I'm an avid photographer and photography fan ever since, and that plays right into my work as an actor, going in front of the camera,
brilliant, brilliant.
and then not so much behind the camera anymore, other than as a still photographer, but also as a director of music videos, where I'm both in front of the camera and behind the camera.
Oh wow, wow, wow. Talking
That's
about
a bit that's a bit mental, isn't it?
no, I think it's actually brilliant because you have that experience of how to manage the talent in front of the camera because you are that talent in front of the camera, so you know how to communicate with them. And where a director can't do that communication very well, um, you know, I'd imagine you're the kind of person that would jump in front of the camera and say, "This is how you pick this up. This is how you open the window, and this, that, and the other. And this is the face to pull." And I think that
Well, I haven't directed a lot, but I'm a good director because I know how to talk to artists.
brilliant. That's what it's all about, man. Like that
I know how
is
to communicate with artists, and I think I know how to communicate with people. Some people are better at that than others, aren't they?
yeah. Like, I like to think I'm doing a decent job today, being a presenter.
You're doing a great job, man. But we connected instantly, though, over Skype by text.
Exactly.
And I've listened to your show. It has to be said,
Oh boy.
a radio show on Mixcloud, because I was quite surprised that you had played a tune before our interview, and you tagged me on social media, and so I was out working at the time in my cab,
Oh,
and so I listened to you later on Mixcloud.
oh, dude, no, I played the.
To your chat and to some of the other artists, and you got it going on, man.
Do you know what it is? There's nothing special about me. Do you know what it is? I'm just real. I have met many pompous people over the years, and check this out. This is real talk, dude. JD. I work for families that turn over 110 million pound a week, and
Yikes.
yeah, and I met them. And are they arrogant? No. Are they up their own backside? No. So why is someone uppity and like it's hilarious? Like even on the film sets, you'll find that the extras they're more uppity and a bit miserable compared to, let's say, one day, real story. We on 10 quid an hour. We clocked up a lot of hours over the week. and flipping helicopter lands on the set. I'm like, who the hell's this idiot landed in helicopter on the set? Not, it's Tom Cruise. And so we had to look after the stupid helicopter, right? And I thought, I'm on 10 quid an hour looking after this Airbus helicopter. And so me and Daz were like, we're not getting paid enough to look after the helicopter. We've got to look after the set. We've got to look after everything over here now and the helicopter. But we have to watch the helicopter now. That puts us under more stress because and if it happens to the stupid helicopter, that's going to put us under more, put us in trouble. So it's funny how, the bigger he's such a nice guy, right? Tom is. He bought my friend who is his private security. He bought his vocal headphones, of really, really nice headphones and that, man. So it's proper cool, dude. Like really, really down to earth, man. He looks after his team. I was chatting to his pilot, Matt. Matt's a very, very nice guy. So it's just doing that job. You meet a lot of cool people, but also the flip side of it is you gotta be like a pit bull when something goes wrong or someone's trying to break into one of the places. You got to run. You got to grab people and drag them out and kick them around. And that's,
if you're security, you do.
Yeah, cool. Hell yeah. You got to be on it, man. So yeah, the track that I played was "Put Your Lights On." Those lyrics, yeah. You mentioned that there's a monster. Is it in my head or under my bed? What was it? There's a monster. So tell me about that. It's quite dark. I thought that's a quite dark lyrics, dude.
It's very dark, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a monster living under my bed.
Yeah. Wow.
I think it's living under my bed. I'm mortified if I haven't got that right. But I'm pretty sure it's a monster living under my bed, whispering in my ear. There's an angel with a hand on my head. She say I got nothing to fear. Woo.
Wow. Wow.
But it's very subjective, isn't it? When you listen to a song, isn't it? Of course. But I think when Eric Schrody wrote it, he was, he was recovering from, a major life or death experience, having had major heart attack. But he had also converted to Islam.
Wow.
Before that song.
Wow.
And Islam, it's a very Islamic tune. I don't know if you recognized or saw that, or heard that.
Oh, I didn't realize because I'm Sikh. I'm from a Sikh faith, but
Okay.
I still study other scriptures and I do a lot of studies. You can tell by there's a whole bunch of books behind me. I'm studying a lot, like every day.
Woo, good for you, man. Yeah. I know that Sikhism is very different to Islam.
Yeah.
But this is an Islam track because he converted to Muslim, although he's more ecumenical than that, I think. He's more, I'll take from this, I'll take from that,
Yes.
And so the song ends with La ilaha illallah.
Wow, that's a massive salute. That's brilliant. That is brilliant.
That's correct me if I'm wrong, but that is there is no God but God. Or I guess it can be interpreted different ways, but that is an optional translation.
That's beautiful.
So the song is, in a way a hymn.
Yeah.
And it's about the fear of death, I believe. There's a monster living under my bed, whispering in my ear. It's about fear for me. There's, what is my monster? What is your monster? It's, an existential monster living under my bed, whispering in my ear, that you're going to die and there's nothing awaiting you.
Whoa.
But then there's an angel. That taps me on my head.
Yes.
On my shoulder. And this is personal interpretation now.
Yeah.
And said, don't worry. You've got nothing to fear.
Wow.
Live, be fearless, So yeah, that's my interpretation of the tune. It is dark and it is a bit scary, but it's very hopeful and it's very spiritual, and it's a vibe.
It's
right.
It's a brilliant vibe. What was I going to say to you? So we regarding your acting career, dude. We had questions sent in yesterday, right, for yesterday's show, and
I those too.
yeah, I think there was. Let's have a look.
Well, let's not forget you asked me like who's a big celebrity that I've worked with. That's
Oh,
from your list.
oh, did I?
That's from your Skype list from yesterday.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Let me have a look.
Ask
No,
me,
no. Those questions were sent in by another listener. There's 3 questions.
but before that,
Yeah.
you sent me a list of questions on Skype,
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
and one of those questions was, uh, "Can you tell us about the most memorable moment when meeting another celebrity?"
Yeah. Those questions were sent in
Is that
from
from a listener?
from a listener. Yeah, yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, big up the listeners for sending in questions.
Cool.
So let's go. Shall we go with that one?
Yeah.
Shout out to all the people in India, by the way, in case we forget, because I
That's
know
right.
you've got a lot of listeners in India, don't you?
Yeah, but the may not be all like what it is. We're gonna the way I do the show. This is gonna on YouTube, yeah. And what I'll do,
I know.
I'll rip the audio from this, upload
Yeah.
that to the radiation server because of the different time zone differentials and all that. And that's why I'm kicking ass on the listenership. I don't know. It's just the fact that it sounds mad how I'm doing it.
You put clips in your show, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Put clips
I put it
in your
straight.
radio show.
That's right. Yeah.
Can't wait. So I had to think of it for a moment when you sent me the list of these questions about, oh, what's a big celebrity like? Because I'm sure I met loads, you know,
Yeah.
and I have met a few. But so I had to, but I did have to think and kind of think. And who was the first person that came into my mind? It was David Beckham.
Wow. I can tell you a story about that too. You go first, man.
Good, I'll go first.
Yeah.
Now I know there's big love everywhere for David Beckham.
Yeah.
I'm not a football fan myself, but I'm still a big fan of David Beckham and the Spice Girls.
Yeah, of course.
Huge fan of Spice
Yes.
Girls.
Yes.
Yeah, I did a commercial with David Beckham.
Dude, you kidding?
Yeah, man. So I spent 2 days on set with him
Wow.
in Pinewood, I think it was, for a major clothing brand. Can I say the name?
Yeah, go for it.
H&M. So David did a big H&M campaign on print, outside the shops and whatever, and in magazines and online. And he did a big commercial. We might be able to find it actually at some point. It was all set in this big barn place with a snooker table and these kind of weird and wonderful characters around him. And he walks in and plays pool, has a pool showdown with this cool dude, not me, by the way.
Yeah.
Now, here's a funny story. I was shortlisted for the cool dude, like opponent guy of David Beckham.
No way.
Yet in the acting background of the world of acting jobs and worlds, I was the second. It was between me and the guy who got it for that particular shooting in the pool shots with David Beckham, like as his opponent. But so they put me in another, like in the background instead.
Wow.
And I turned up on the day with quite a few others actually, and was basically there, on a day rate, maybe as a walk on.
Yeah.
If it happened to be featured, they'd pay me a buyout.
Wow.
A few grand. So we were in this big thing, and the director comes out, or the assistant director, and kind of putting us everywhere, and he points at me and he goes, "You, you can stand here. And David's going to walk in here, and he's going to walk up to you, and you're going to just kind of go, not say anything, but it's like, hey." But you're kind of like his valet. So you're going to take his jacket.
Wow.
JD, you're going to take his jacket, and you're going to give him the pool cue. And then you're going to take a step back, and David and the guy who got the real job as the opponent are going to do their thing. So so that worked out well. I did get a buyout in the end. He was very, very, very nice. We spoke more than one occasion. At the end of that whole 2 days, he took a group photo with us. Very, very nice guy. I mean, he's a supermodel now, not a footballer, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, from what I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a superstar. Tell me your David Beckham story. Beat that. My, I bet you can beat that actually, because you've
Nah,
met.
nah. I think the Hatton Garden robbery just happened for the jewelry heist thing, yeah. And I think the Beckhams unfortunately had some scumbag thief that actually caught someone in their property. And what they did, they put a request into my gaffers, and my boss wanted me to work for the Beckhams as private security at Beckenham Palace.
Okay.
And
Wow.
yeah, but the thing is, like, I I didn't want to do the job because they wanted I think it's one guy, whatever, and I didn't want to do it because I wanted to have another guy with me, but I wanted to have a real pit bull of a man. I go, basically, um, I'd rather we do the jail time and protect the family or whatever it is than take than get hurt and fail the job. So that's how my mindset used to be back then. And so I declined that one, and I also declined the wedding of one of the Lord Mountbatten's lot. I declined that one too. Um, yeah, but I used to be geared differently that back then because certain people, you can have an explosive temper, like a savage fighting dog, and that's how
What?
I used to be. I used to be that
I,
way.
I used to have a temper too, man. You know.
Yeah, but I used to. I wouldn't beat no one up. But if someone tried to mess about at work and touch the client stuff, but I thought, what am I? I'm just a Rottweiler in a mansion on my own. I thought at the end of the
Hmm.
day, I thought I want to branch out and do fun things in my life. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I could have worked for them. Uh,
Well, that definitely beats my story in a way,
no,
actually,
no, no,
because
no, 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 no. It doesn't. It's not
no,
about beating anyone. It's just the fact that I've
no, exactly.
experienced things from the bottom. I'm just a security guy. That's it.
We're all the same. That's lesson number two of the pandemic, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We are all the same.
I have a special request, right? What it is?
Serve it.
This is gonna be odd. Can I call back in 1 minute? Cause I'm bursting for a pee.